I sort of just go in with sheer willpower and go, this will go in eventually. I read lines continuously. I like to cut the lines up and see, can I do it? I think if you can get the lines 3 times in a row, probably sunk it into your brain.
So I like to either write it out on a page and see how it's like set out, or just stare at it for hours on end until it goes in.
I just keep on saying the lines like a few times, multiple times, scream them, say that out loud in different, with different, variations.
One tip I have used is once I get more comfortable with the lines, writing down the lines on a sheet of paper, but only use the first letter of each word. So then if I need a prompt, I can look at it and it's still challenging myself to remember the line because I'll only get the first letter of the next part.
When it comes to monologues, I do something that they call the word build-up, where you say, so to be or not to be, to be or not, and then until you finish the whole thought to a full stop. And then by the time you're done with one line, it's in your head, and then you just keep doing that. You break it down to line, thought by thought, line by line.
You just have to do it a word at a time. First word, second word, first word, second one, third word, until it drills into your brain. And that way you're not saying it with any inflections and you're not finding a pattern or a rhythm and getting stuck with it. You're just learning the cold words.
Do not sit behind a page and just go like that. That is never going to help you. Get it up on its feet, move with the lines.
I feel like when you read the lines on the paper and you just kind of read them in your head, they're not going to go in. You've got to get up, maybe do an activity like clean your room or clean the kitchen or whatever. Just get it up and make yourself busy while doing it, so you're not confined to just reading it on your bed.
I always learn my lines before I go to sleep, and usually by the time I wake up, it's in my brain, because I think my brain works on it while I'm sleeping.
But I think it's important to acknowledge that learning lines is really difficult for everyone. For some reason, acknowledging that it's hard made it easier for me, because I spent less time learning lines, stressing about how slow I was learning them.
Do it as quickly as you can when you get a script. So you got the lines in, and the quicker you can start having fun, I guess.
I start learning my lines. I try to start learning my lines 2 weeks beforehand, and then I know that I'll feel confident enough to be free on stage. That's the most important thing.
As someone who's dyslexic, I know that sometimes learning lines can be a bit tricky. So I would say know what you're doing. I think as long as you break down the text, know exactly what your character wants, the lines will start to pop in. A bit like a detective. I think the more you discover, the more lines you remember.
So obviously you are the character, so the words are your own already, so don't think of them as like a dialogue that you have to learn. Like, they should already be part of you and your character and your makeup, so they're just words that you want to say, so maybe just figure out why you're saying them instead of learning them off, so they're already in there.
I tried to find the heart of what the story is, what the moment is, and I tried to experience kind of on an emotional level each line. I also record myself, and then like saying the lines, and then like if you've got a long drive or you're washing dishes or in the shower, just play them back. But that can sometimes affect, like, you might fall into a certain pattern or rhythm with how you then perform the lines.
I will record the other person's lines on my phone and then I'll read it in as well. So I'll play the recording and it's like, it's me talking to myself. But then like if I'm in the car or on the train or even just at home, I just play the recording and it's like I'm having a conversation with myself.
So uniting is a really big thing that actors use to separate the text into pieces and chunks, and that really helps you memorize them if you do it in bits, because it takes the pressure off learning this huge text.
I do a lot of repetition, and that's so cliche to say, but it works for me. Repetition, or I usually record the other person's lines and then like leave a little gap for my line, and then just, again, repetition, just keep going, play the recording, say my lines, yeah.
I'm a really active learner, so I try and bounce balls off walls, or like ages and ages ago I used to have a ping pong paddle and just bounce the ball up and down, just to really embody those lines. It works for me, it might not work for others.
So I use a tennis ball up against the wall. Don't know if you've heard that one before. So I throw it up against the wall, so that, because when you're learning lines, it's so easy to just be focused on that, and then you think you know them, and then the next day when you go into your scene or whatever, they're just gone out of your head. But with the tennis ball, it's like almost multitasking. So it really makes sure you drill in the lines. That's the one. That's my tennis ball technique.